I'm sure you've all heard about the many changes that the NBA is actually making in the 2025-2026 season. It's been on my mind. I've been seeing it everywhere on Twitter. People have been just talking about it on social media. And I'm like, you know what? I want to share my take on it because this is really going to impact, the majority of NBA fans who've been watching the games and who've been just used to the many various forms of entertainment and the viewing experience and many other things. I'm like, you know what? Let me give my take on this and share some of the cool things that are actually happening, some of the maybe uncool things that are happening. And in the comments down below, you can let me know which ones are your favorites and which ones you're not looking forward to. With that being said, everybody, my name is Sub. Welcome to STG Hoops with a brand new video. And I'm just really enjoying making content about the game that I love, which is basketball. If you just typed in the NBA changing, Amazon, NBA, whatever, and you just stumbled across this video, hey, give your boy a chance and subscribe to this channel. Like this video if you haven't as well. And to the returning subscribers, y'all are the real MVPs. So let's kind of get straight to this. I want to talk about 3 things in this video and 3 things alone. And I want to start off with one change, the first one, that I'm actually really excited for hopefully next year in 2025, this may be debuting. And that is the NBA's version of NFL RedZone. Now, I've recently become a big NFL fan in the past maybe 3 to 4 years. I've occasionally watched it, but since I got married and joined my wife's family's fantasy football league, it's just extremely competitive. And because of that, I find myself watching games that I never thought I'd be watching because I have players who play obviously for that particular team. I'm watching Jaguars versus Texans games, random games. I'm from Chicago, so naturally it would only be a Bears game I'd watch. So I'm watching these random games because I got this player, I got that player on my squad, so I'm literally watching every single game. And as a father with 2 kids, one on the way, my Sundays are pretty much booked, right? And what really helps with that experience is NFL RedZone. Just makes things really exciting. It just ups the ante, if you will, and it's just really dope, dude. The commentator is great at what he does, and it just really just intensifies everything. And it also kind of helps you watch every game all at once, if you will. So the NBA is actually trying to do that, and I think if they can execute it very well, it could really be solid. It's not as easy of a task as NFL because NFL you got 3 hours and the games can get really intense at the end and things like that. NBA games, it's just a harder task to accomplish, especially intensifying the games or if it's a blowout or whatever. But hey, they're making billions of dollars. If they can execute it well, find the perfect commentator, and just find a way to make it entertaining and recap things and share things live and things of that sort, I'm all for it. I'm excited to see how it goes. That's number one that I'm really excited for. Number 2 is one of the biggest changes that obviously is going to be happening, and basically the NBA has made a huge media deal for the next 10 years or so, and it's going to start taking place in the 2025 to 2026 season, not this upcoming season, so everything stays the same for this upcoming season, but this is just going to be a huge one, and essentially that is going to be a multi millions of dollar deals with various companies. Okay, this basically means Amazon is going to be broadcasting NBA games. This means now that the NBC is going to be broadcasting NBA games, right? We haven't seen an NBA game on Amazon ever, and obviously NBC used to have NBA games years and decades ago, right? So they pretty much signed a massive deal which will allow these 2 platforms to have the games. Now, number 1, it's obviously money driven. Let's just be honest. We've seen now the NFL have games on Amazon, right? So the NBA obviously made a deal with them probably because Amazon just has all the money. They're one of the biggest companies in the world, and they're giving the NBA the bag. That's number 1. Number 2, the NFL did it, so that's obviously just a way to bolster it, and that's just what it is, man. Now, as a fan, I really don't enjoy watching games on Amazon from an NFL perspective. When I watch it on my TV, I think the app is just way too slow. It lags. It's way better of an experience watching it on my phone. But if you're watching it at home, I just don't like it. It's very hard to rewind. It's very hard to do much things other than watch it live. At least with YouTube TV, where I watch, I can record, I can do this, I can do that, I can go back. It's very easy, very intuitive. I hope that this is something that Amazon works and changes. Now, unfortunately, not everyone may have an Amazon account. That's probably something that is not as less frequent than NBC/Peacock. We'll get to that. Most people now have an Amazon account, are able to watch it, or Amazon Prime, whatever. I do anticipate this only going to increase. So I don't think that's that tough as a barrier, because I think the majority of people nowadays are on Amazon, have Prime, whatever. They already have a year of watching this on NFL. But I do think the second aspect, which is NBC/Peacock, that's where things are going to be a little bit different. Now, NBC and Peacock, NBC is going to obviously be hosting a lot of games as well. I believe they're going to have some Sunday slots, some Monday slots, Tuesday slots, etc. Now, games specifically on Peacock, look, I don't even have a Peacock subscription. I don't pay for it. I haven't paid for it. That's going to be a little bit tough, man, because it's a lot more easy to justify purchasing an Amazon subscription for Prime opposed to just a Peacock. Like, what are you going to watch? Like, I'm sure some of y'all may have it. I haven't really got into it. There really hasn't been any shows that I'm like, yo, I have to watch this on Peacock, but maybe next year things are going to change. So that's something that I'm a little like iffy about. But, you know, the standard television shows like NBC, ABC, etc., we all have that. And, you know, that's exciting. Now, in terms of ABC, which is Disney, ABC is still going to remain the slots. They're going to have a bunch of playoff games. They're still solidified for the NBA Finals, so that doesn't change, which is, you know, exciting. ABC Finals just has a ring to it, right? Unfortunately, one of the biggest losses is TNT. That is going to be one of the biggest losses. TNT is no longer going to be hosting NBA. I believe now All-Star Weekend is going to be on NBC now. So that was one of the hardest things to see, because watching NBA and TNT was always a vibe, which leads me to number 3. NBA on TNT are inside the NBA cast with Kenny and Shaq and Charles Barkley, you know, and Ernie. That's no longer coming back, at least through TNT. And that was my number 3, and that was probably the most hardest thing to kind of think about, because we grew up, or at least I grew up watching these guys, right? I grew up watching these guys. I grew up watching Shaq play, for example, number 1. But then seeing him kind of join the squad, it was just exciting, man. And, you know, I remember from a video game perspective also getting so excited when I would see the cast join on NBA 2K. You know, we all grew up with these guys. If you're watching the game for the past 10, 15 years, we all grew up watching, you know, inside the NBA with everybody, and their comedy and just the way they kind of express themselves with a no-care attitude. You know, one of the best things I loved about this crew was the fact that they just say how it is. And that's what made them special. You know, they had, of course, I'm sure, dialect coaches to kind of help them maintain some level of decorum, but at least Charles and Shaq, they don't care, bro. Right? They just say how it is, right? And Ernie kind of was the guy to kind of neutralize things, and Kenny at times as well, but that's just what we love. That's what we appreciate, man. They just say it how it is. And yeah, sometimes they made mistakes. Sometimes they said stuff they shouldn't have, but they're all human. And that's just what really added to the realism of how they kind of approach talking. And from a media perspective, it wasn't cookie cutter. It was raw. And then number 2, the fact that these brothers literally are one of the greatest basketball players, at least with Shaq and Charles. You know, Kenny did his thing as well in the NBA as well. And Ernie's just a solidified G. Like that he, you know, he has everybody's respect, right? It was just the perfect team to do what they have been doing. And, you know, I'm really grateful that we still have one more year of watching this. But, and obviously they also were upset, right? They all obviously also wanted to, you know, keep on running it with TNT, and there's no guarantee they're going to come back. But look, man, Amazon has a lot of money. NBC has a lot of money. I would really hope that they sign with one of these two giants. I think ABC/ESPN, I think they're solidified. They already got their people. They got Stephen A. Smith and many others. But I would really like to see whether it's Amazon or NBC sign, you know, these giants with Charles, Shaq, and the crew. That's my hope. That's my take on it. If they could do it, they could really revive, you know, the excitement that a lot of fans have, because a lot of people, even Reggie Miller's a G, right? Like a lot of this TNT cast, we like it. I've really grown to admire them, and you know, from a perspective of what they bring in terms of like the way they carry themselves on media and how they talk in this, you know, they're just real, bro. They're just real, and I think that's something that I hope we can get back on this new deal. Because look, man, the cookie cutter talking and things of that sort, it's nice, it's there, you need it at times, but sometimes you just need unfiltered conversations, and that was the closest thing you had in terms of nationally televised, unfiltered communication. And what better people to do it than what is it, G5, G7, whatever classification than Shaq and the crew. So that's my take on the three things. Just to recap real quickly, everybody. Number one, NBA RedZone equivalent is going to be coming out. Super, super exciting. I can't wait for that. Number two, the media deal, which is huge. The NBA is going to be on ABC still, ESPN still, but now we're going to be getting NBC and Peacock, and we're also going to be getting Amazon after the NFL season ends, so about in January, February. Every single day, it's going to be nationally televised in one of these outlets, which is super exciting. So like you can watch big NBA games every single day. So a lot of teams are going to have more like nationally televised games. And then of course, number three, TNT is no longer coming back for the NBA, unfortunately. So that does mean that, you know, our crew with Shaq, Kenny, everybody in between, Charles, Ernie, they're not coming back, at least with TNT. So I hope they can find another home. That's it, everybody. I just wanted to kind of give you those three updates. Let me know in the comments down below which ones are your favorites and then which ones are the toughest. And do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? My sentiments, everything in between. Y'all have been amazing. I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you, everybody, for watching this video, and I'll see you soon, man. Peace. Like this video if you haven't. This is one take, by the way. That's how we do it. We don't filter these things. We go one take. We talk to the camera. We have fun talking about the game that we love. Y'all are the best, man. Peace.